It's just how I set up.
Yes, it is expensive. It costs a minimum of $10,000 depending on if you do
$10,000 to live in a tent?
Don't poop in the showers is crazy.
This is what you guys are going into debt for? After my last Coachella video, it has been brought to my attention that there are basically two completely different Coachella experiences. On one side, celebrities and influencers with luxury stays, VIP everything, and obviously no lines. And then on the other side, people that are spending all of their money just to be there. Camping in tents, sharing showers, and surviving in barely livable conditions. Same festival, but completely different experiences. So in this video, we're breaking down the two sides of Coachella 2026 and what it really says about money, consumerism, and how far people are willing to go just to be there. As usual, I'll be reading some of your comments in today's video, so if you want to be in the next one, definitely make sure to leave your thoughts down below. Showering at Coachella reality. So I think we're starting off with the broke, or the trend is calling it the poor side of Coachella. Let's see what we have to endure for our minimum spend of $500+ a ticket. I'm scared. He said he's scared? Oh, look at the floor. You couldn't pay me enough to walk through that thing. That reminds me of like the high school bathroom showers or something after, after going into the pool and having to walk through that. And they're like, you have to take your shoes off on the pool floor, the pool deck. It was the most, disgusting thing. Ever since then, I've absolutely hated public pools and stuff like that, especially walking through it barefoot. Never. I've been completely traumatized since I was a kid. The craziest part is, I guess this is the poor side. So, and it's still expensive to go to Coachella. It's still $500 to $600+ for the general admission ticket. And that doesn't include flights and the car rentals and food and everything else that is stacking up. It didn't even occur to me, like, yeah, it's a 3-day event. Where are you going to shower? At this point, I wouldn't even shower. I'd feel more dirty going into that thing than just not showering at all for 3 days straight. Somebody the top comment, I had to read some of these comments that people had left on this TikTok because it's insane. Was that an effing fart? I don't know. I just heard people coughing constantly in the background. You'd probably get so sick. The amount of nastiness, in that bathroom shower. So this is why some people bring portable showers. It's a good idea. If you're going to go like car camping, because I don't know, I think general admission doesn't cover anywhere you're going to stay. So you either have to get a hotel, or these showers might be available for people that are car camping out of their cars or something like that, or out of a tent of some sort. Someone goes, yeah, I'm fine with Homechella. The steam gotta feel nasty. Yeah, isn't Coachella also in a desert? So you have people partying for, 12+ hours a day. Nasty, sticky, sweaty, and then they're getting crammed into this hot shower with like 10+ people. I mean, did you look at the floor? It was brown. That is the nastiest thing I think I've ever seen.
Okay, I just took my 3rd Coachella shower,
Is she in a
and my
porta-potty?
hack is to use these porta potty ones because there's honestly so much room and like space for you to leave your things. And it's a little gross, but it works. And these ones also are always open, so you can just skip the line and go right into them. So this one,
I wonder why.
and there's this one that's bigger. But people wait for these, and personally, I don't really like them because everyone's in there, it's like hot, and nowhere to leave your stuff. So if you don't want to wait in the line, just go to the front and ask to use the porta ones.
I'm actually surprised. It's a genius business idea, but that's crazy. They just truck in a mobile shower station for these concerts. That's absolutely insane. A portable shower, a porta potty shower. I didn't think it could get any worse. We know how disgusting porta potties are, let alone we're now going to share a shower. We're paying hundreds of dollars to attend Coachella, and it's like a survival game. This is like the Hunger Games of Coachella events. This isn't. How is this fun? At the last video I made, if you guys haven't seen the last episode on Coachella, which was talking about people are going broke to attend Coachella, going into, credit card debt or taking out huge loans on buy now, pay later and Klarna to attend this. And from the videos that we were showing, the event looked, decent. It looked like a decent festival, We're 2 videos deep into this video, and I am blown away that people are willing to go into debt to endure this. This is insane. Someone says, I feel like I would still feel dirty. Yeah, I think so too. Showering in a porta potty. Someone goes, ew, absolutely not. The floor is grossing me out. Yeah, if you don't have like the shower shoes, game over. Game over. I don't know why it didn't even occur to me to do that, because I was so used to it, because I lived at home for majority of my life. But when I went to college, I wasn't sharing, those showers. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten those shoes. I had my own shower shared with three other guys in my dorm room. I had a suite style. But to this day, never again, never again, never again. You got, if you're not doing that already, if you're watching this and you're in college, please go invest in some flip-flops or something. This is not the way. This is not the way. Poor side of Coachella sucks. I would rather just shower in a bikini and flip-flops outside. This is crazy, honestly. That's a good point too. Like, why don't they have outside showers, like ones that are at like public beaches and stuff like that? That would be so much better. I'm so confused. That actually is such a good question to ask. Oh my gosh.
Here's what it was like to stay in the safari tents at Coachella. And before you say it, yes, it is expensive. It costs a minimum of $10,000 depending on if you do
$10,000 to live in a tent? And here we are on the rich side of Coachella. I would think 10 grand to go tent camping. Wow.
or 4 people for this full experience. And no, this was not sponsored. We are very grateful and privileged that we were able to afford this. And we split the cost between 4 of us. And no, this isn't daddy's money. We own and run 3 businesses. So we're going to break down what this includes. We'll let you know whether we thought it was actually worth the money or not for the full experience. First up, when you arrive, it took us about 10 minutes to find parking, go through security, and get a golf cart over to our tent. This is what the safari tent looked like. It came with a fridge, air conditioning, towels, a dresser, desk, full body mirror, and our Coachella wristbands, which you can pick up at check-in. Next, this is what the bathrooms and showers look like.
What an upgrade. Oh my gosh, I think the price might be worth it alone. Compared to what the general admission people have to endure in those bathrooms, this is a magnificent, beautiful portable bathroom and shower.
Toothbrushes, sunscreen, makeup remover. They gave you basically any amenity that you needed. And this was one of the best parts because after being out all day dancing in the 100-degree weather and covered in dust, we could come back and freshen up without waiting in lines. Next up was food. So we arrived at the tent on Thursday. When you check in, you get dinner and they had an Aperol Spritz welcome party. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you get breakfast from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and late night snacks from around 9:30 p.m. to 2 a.m., which were all incredible. We also got breakfast to go on Monday when we were leaving the campsites. Another thing that we loved is that in the safari camp, you can order your merch to avoid the lines inside of Coachella, and they'll deliver it to your tent for you. You can sign up for complimentary massages daily. You get complimentary ice. They fill up your pool with their hoses on site. You can even place grocery orders at the front desk if you want anything, and they'll pick it up for you. And then they even had hair and makeup pop-ups for a fee if you wanted to add on those services. Now let's talk about what it gets you at the actual festival. The safari tent gives you access to their golf cart service, which means that we could leave the safari camp anytime and they would drive us directly to the stage that we wanted to go. It saved us a lot of time and a lot of walking, and it helped a ton when it was really hot outside and we were exhausted. It also gave us guest wristbands, so we were able to have incredible viewing areas. This allowed us to show up to some sets and literally walk up to the rails without having to wait all day. The last thing I'll mention too is the difference between doing safari tents for weekend 1 and 2. Weekend 1 was a lot busier, a lot more influencers and celebrities, a lot more people that were a little high-strung, lash out over the smallest things, because weekend 1 just had a different vibe. Last year we went to weekend 2 and it was a lot more chill. No one was in a rush. Everyone was there to have a good time. And it felt like the crowd had a lot more energy and actually enjoyed the artists instead of just wanting to capture photos all day. So if you want a more chill experience, I would do the tents on weekend 2, but you might not get as good of surprise guests. Overall, would we do safari again? Absolutely. It was expensive, but in our opinion, it was definitely worth it. It was about $3,000 to $4,000 per person when we split it up between the 4 of us, and we are so thankful that our jobs and businesses allow us to afford an experience like this. Considering VIP tickets alone are around $1,400, we thought this was totally worth it for everything that it included. Let us know in the comments. Do you think that this experience is worth it?
All right, so I'm a little confused how the price went from she said $10,000 for 4 people, which, hear me out, if you break it all down, that's really not that bad. $2,500 per person, that includes all your food, because obviously that's all I'm going to eat from there. I'm not going to buy food from these vendors that extort you for tons of money, $80 for a hot dog, which we exposed in the last video. But then, it includes your stay, your tickets, and it's a lot more comfortable if you think about it compared to how much money, the difference between the two. It really isn't that much. $1,400 for VIP, $600 for general admission. And again, that doesn't include food, your transportation, where you're staying, all that stuff. In the last video, we had compared the two, and someone spent nearly that, if not more money, staying at a hotel away, paying for Ubers, the hotel, and food at the event, and the tickets, the VIP tickets, cost more than what they spent on what I would think is a much better service. Anyway, I wanted to read a couple of comments that you guys had left on the previous Coachella Insanity episode. And if you want to get featured in the next episode, definitely make sure to drop your thoughts down below. For $11,000, I'll go to Japan for 2 weeks and ball the F out. $11,000 for just a tent is crazy work. And that's what I thought too in the last video. $11,000 for just a tent. And I think that was like what one person paid, maybe 2 in the last video. We didn't see this end of the spectrum where people were maybe thinking a little smarter than this, because the first thing that comes to mind is I think a lot of people are trying to get through Coachella on a budget and doing general admission and stuff like that, but they're not realizing when you start piecemealing everything together, the flight, the hotel, the food, the tickets, the like all this stuff that you buy, it might actually add up to more than what it would cost had you have booked that tent in advance and split it with 4 people. And I just realized that's for like 1 weekend, 3 days, 11 grand. That's not the second week of Coachella. So that would be a total of $20,000 for a tent, which is still crazy work, but I would much rather spend the money to go to Japan or Germany or some other country.
All right, you guys, at night when I go to bed, this is how I set up my space. And I'm gonna close this. Anyway. I'm going to close.
The irony is we just watched what the rich side of Coachella was living in, and then we're flipped over here, and this is what balling on a budget looks like. You're sleeping next to randos and strangers, and you have the thinnest sheet, dividing you. I never even thought about that too. Talk about a terrible night's sleep if everybody's up and moving around and making noise and stuff like that. This isn't worth it, guys. You're better off not even going. Just stay at home and watch it on YouTube like I did for free $99. It's a great price. You know what else is free $99? Subscribing to the channel. It's completely free, doesn't cost a dime, and we get to talk about stuff like this, which inevitably could save you money in the long run. Not to mention, we are so close to hitting 100,000 subscribers, and once we do, we're going to be doing a huge giveaway. Hopefully, somebody will use the money towards their debt or towards their future bills or something like that. So if it's not too much to ask, just check and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel down below. Anyway, somebody said, bro is sleeping next to patient 0. Like, I just can't imagine spending, close to $1,000 or upwards of $1,000, $2,000, sleeping in a tent on a portable mattress, grass on the floor. We're talking about, it just doesn't look appealing to me. I don't know. And then you got your neighbor coughing up a lung next to you. The coughing in the background is legit making this seem like a freaking med camp in a war zone. That's what I'm saying. Like, how in any way is this supposed to be enjoyable or fun?
Yeah, I was trying to be the middle side of Coachella and pay for that $10 shower, but the line was too long. So let's come back to the poor side of Coachella and take a shower.
Say there's no lines here.
Poor side of Coachella showers. Oh, look at the floors.
Flooded as fuck, dude. Feels like a sauna in here.
I'd have a mask on.
It's the one I used yesterday. Oh, look.
Oh, and it's not
Vitamin G sauna.
Oh. I'm getting like tingles just watching the video. I'm so uncomfortable. I'd rather spend the $10. It's worth it. Honestly, I'd rather save my money and not go. Going to Coachella seems like a punishment, and you can't convince me otherwise. It looks like consensual torture to me. It honestly does. Like, if you pay general admission and are camping and you don't bring your own, like, watering setup, shower setup, this is torture. This is certainly a punishment. I don't know why people are going into debt for hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to do this, all to say they were there and to take a couple of photos. And I just found out some people are AI pretending they're there to get a photo. They're posting AI photos of them there when they're actually not, to save a few bucks, these influencers, which is hysterical. I'm going to have to make a video on that too, influencers lying at Coachella.
I'm camping at Coachella for the very first time, and I wanted to bring a piece of my apartment out into the desert. I already set up the canopies, but let's set up the rest. Of course, we got to start with a tarp, and did I bring an entire rug out into the desert? Yes. I was really going for like classic vintage camping site, but a little...
Did anybody actually go to Coachella watching this and camped there? I can't believe that. It just keeps getting worse and worse on the broke side of Coachella. He's getting dragged through mud. So and that's the desert for you. Imagine everything's all set up neatly and you made the best of a shitty situation and then it rains and it all turns into mud. There goes your nice, neat, somewhat okay campsite. Your little tent is now, how do you walk in there? It's all muddy. This is disgusting. Bro, WTF is even going on. I'm crying. I was on the Coachella rich side this whole time. So y'all are camping in the swamp. In the swamp. Now, don't worry. I have a few other rich side of Coachella videos that we're going to have to look at here because this broke side, this poor side of Coachella, it is truly remarkable. I am fascinated what people are spending their hard-earned money on. Hours of their day to make some money to be spent on this.
This is what it's like to spend $11,000 to camp at Coachella. And you know what the best part is? If this is not your vibe,
is this one guy?
You don't have to do it. This is called safari camping, and it's hubby and my favorite way to do Coachella. Upon arrival, you have private parking and a private check-in. Anyone staying in your tent does get a guest artist pass, which is so nice. Unlike the other camping that you may be used to seeing, there is zero setup required on your end. It comes fully furnished and ready to go.
They were getting dragged through mud on the broke side. This guy's got a beautiful setup here. Look at the bathrooms and the showers he's about to show us.
They have private showers that are available for anyone staying at Safari, and the most important thing is that they're clean, and I never waited in a line to shower. They also, of course, have private bathrooms and also provide toiletries if you forget yours. The lounge is where you're going to have all of your meals. They provide meals every single day. They have a DJ and a bar, so a lot of people come here to hang out. They even have midnight snacks, which really come in clutch. And this year, they were even offering IVs for purchase, which I definitely took advantage of. When you're ready to head to the festival, you get private golf cart access. And of course, you're able to stand in the artist area, which gets you real close to all of your favorites. Tents start at $10,000 and go up to $12,000, and it's $3,000 for any additional guests. Personally, I think it's worth it, but you let me know what you think. Love you, bye.
I mean, it's crazy because now it's more expensive because he split that two ways, or he might not have paid for it at all, but $6,000-$7,000 to attend one weekend versus splitting it four ways, which might make sense for most people to do. But I just watched a couple of videos. I think I might have even made a video. No, I'm not sure in the last one, but I saw somebody said they were waiting for like the Justin Bieber event and they waited like 12 hours or something, or like 8 hours right at the front, so that they could see the event at like, I think they got there at like 10 in the morning, and then JB performed at like 11 p.m. at night. So they waited the entire day to get front row seats there, dying, sleeping, camping out in the front row to wait for it to go. And then had you have just paid, when the event's ready to go live, you can just hop onto your included golf cart and they'll drive you off, and you get that front row artist pass, seats, and you can walk right past the general admission. The people that have been dying, waiting for 12 hours in the sun in the desert to see him, you get to go right in front. Money is fascinating to me. Someone says $11,000 and still outside. It is pretty diabolical if you think about it, but if you're like gonna do this and you're gonna try to be frugal and budget somehow, realistically speaking here, this might be one of the best bangs for your buck in terms of like getting your money's worth, because this whole general admission thing and camping, car camping out there seems like a real nightmare. Oh, I knew there was a catch. Somebody commented, the website shows it's $9,500 for 2 guests plus $2,500 for up to 2 more guests. If you max it out, this is why that other girl, the price went up a little more when at the end of it that we were trying to figure out here. So that means it is a total of $14,500 if you split it 4 ways. So now we're learning more to this, that this isn't the price that was advertised before. That means it's about $3,600 a person, and that covers guest artist passes, golf transport, all food, private showers, etc. It's worth it if you want a stress-free experience. People are paying just as much or more without this package, and that's what I was saying. I mean, $2,500 seemed like a no-brainer steal. $3,600 is pushing it, but in comparison to what you could be paying, which adds up a lot. We were watching the other video, which you should check out, and people were saying they spent close to this and obviously didn't get that experience because they just spent it on everything else.
All right, day 3, John. It's the last day at Coachella. What are we having?
Like, this adds up is what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, and it's 100 plus degrees in the desert. And the craziest part of the whole thing is I would almost bet that a lot of those people that you just saw paid nearly the same amount or just a couple $100 less than the people at those other tents, which is crazy to me. Because after transportation, Ubers, food, gas, your car expenses, whatever it was, flights, the VIP ticket, if that's what you paid for instead of general admission, $1,400, and everything else, water, you're probably getting pretty close to what they spend for a much better treatment. Crazy.
The differences between the rich side of Coachella and the poor side of Coachella is something. Because there are things I thought I would never see. Okay, so when it comes to the rich side of Coachella, the first person who pops up is Sophie Rain. As you guys know, she spent almost $200K for this Coachella trip. So you know she's ballin'. But all of a sudden, Kylie Jenner decided to stunt herself and show where she's staying at. As you can see, the mansion where she's staying at is incredible. Just look at this. It has its own basketball courts. It even has its own theater. Crazy. Now, staying on the rich side of Coachella, we have influencers showing their houses. This is where Sierra Ortega from Love Island is staying at. Like, it's not Kylie Jenner's place, but like, it's not bad either. And I want you guys to keep in mind, this is the rich side of Coachella. Do you want to know what the poor side of Coachella is doing? The poor side of Coachella is doing something called performative camping. And it's all because of this guy. He actually started this trend last year. He went viral last year for flexing out his Coachella camp. Like, he actually has a whole setup right here. He has a couch. He has a rug. Like, why go through all this if you're going to be in like 90-degree weather? It doesn't make any sense. And from there, people started copying this guy. Regular people are actually blowing money away on a Coachella trip just to sweat in a tent.
And the crazy thing too is I saw a video that I didn't have time to post in here. The video would go too long. All that stuff people just left there after Coachella. All those blow up things, they didn't want to take home. They left it on the floor because I think it got donated or something. But it really does show you that there is clearly a divide between the two. And then the other part of this whole thing is that a lot of these influencers on the rich side didn't even pay anything. Their trips were either fully funded or like partially funded to attend Coachella to post or promote some sort of brand, which is crazy. I mean, some of these A-list celebrities, I highly doubt they're paying any money. I mean, they're huge PR for Coachella and these events here that it draws so many people in just from them promoting it online that they get to go. But either way, it's still kind of crazy to see what people are willing to spend their money on or go into debt for. It's not a working class music festival. It's literally for trust fund kids to take photos for their social media. And I've also heard it's like the Hunger Games for influencers or something like that. All the influencers flock to this event to say they were there. You know, it's the newest, trendiest thing to keep up with the Joneses, to keep their statuses up and stuff like that.
I'd like to thank the poor side of Coachella. You guys made me have no FOMO whatsoever. There was one girl I was following who waited 3 hours in line for a shower, and then she got food poisoning, and then spiders hatched in her fan. She said it was like 85 degrees and a family of spiders hatched in her fan. So thanks to poor Coachella.
Can you imagine? And nobody even talked about that so far. The lines you would think you'd have to wait just to take a shower versus the people that spent just probably a couple more bucks have private showers to go there. And then the Uber elites have their own houses, so they'll just leave the event and go shower at their, estate or villa and then come back to the event. But it really is fascinating. The poor side of Coachella is us watching from home, girl. No, that's the smart side. That is definitely the smart side of Coachella here. These look different.
Let's do a price breakdown of safari camping at Coachella. So here's what everyone's been dying to know. I'm going to show you guys every single thing I spent on Coachella. First, the big one, the safari camping package. We paid $11,000 for 2 people. We were able to get it tier 2, but if you get it tier 1, it's $10,000. And if you get it tier 3, it is $12,000.
For 2 people.
And again, this includes 2 people, so you get 2 wristbands. Second thing we spent on was flights. So we fly in from Dallas, and it was $330 to fly in. The third thing we spent on was a rental car. So we spent $387 for the rental car. This year I spent a lot on merch compared to other years. So my total for merch was $749. Inside the festival, I only spent about $60.
It's like, why get a rental car just to drive to the event? And then you get transportation there for free. And then you just drive it back. Well, it might make sense, actually, because I'm sure the Ubers were price gouging like crazy, let alone if you could even get an Uber after the event ends.
On food. Since Safari would provide breakfast and like a really late dinner, I'd just eat that. Since we were also camping for spots for headliners, we really just wouldn't eat during the day. So my overall total that I spent at Coachella weekend was right about $7,000.
Jeez.
This doesn't include what I spent on outfits for the weekend, but it includes mostly everything else. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos over Coachella weekend. I really appreciate it. Bye, guys.
$7,000. Okay, now it might make more sense to go car camping. Before, we were at a price of like $2,500 a person. I was like, this is a no-brainer. $3,500 still might be a no-brainer. It really is. But to be splitting it 2 ways, just 2 ways, and then you got to add these other fees to it, $7,000. It might not be worth it. It really isn't. Versus car camping might be, thousands of dollars cheaper. $7,000 can get you a decent car, maybe 100K miles, but a decent Toyota might be from, 2004. Or you can spend it on this. But don't get me wrong. I'm not here to debate whether it's worth it or not going. To each their own. But with something like this, you should be saving up for, outside of an emergency fund. You should already have an emergency fund. You should already be out of debt. And then save up for it and pay it in cash. That is the only way this is worthwhile attending. If you are going into payment plans, if you are in debt and attending this, or going into debt to attend this, you have zero business going to this. Zero. Please, do yourself a favor. Do your future kids a favor and stop. Be responsible. I wouldn't go to Coachella even if it was free. That's what somebody said in the last video.
I just woke up from a nap in the sun. I feel gross, so let's take a shower at Coachella car camping. I gotta walk through everybody to find the showers. I don't know where they are. Sunset on the hills in like 2 hours, so I don't want to miss it. But I also don't want to smell musty. Let's not say. Look how pretty Coachella is. I have no idea where the showers are. Let's go find them. Do you know where the showers are? Over there? Yeah. Thank you so much. Come on, horsies. Hello, how are you? Meeting you guys as I'm sweating looking crazy will never not be humbling. You can see the Ferris wheel. Where are these showers? I found some showers. Damn, we're far. Every year I've been camping, I was right next to the showers, so this is a bit crazy. Stomping over these fields right now. The line doesn't look too long. Well, yeah. Showers 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It shows you when they're most busy. Oh, amazing. Now we wait this whole line. It's 5:47. Let's see how long. Don't poop in the showers is crazy.
Don't poop in the showers? This is what you guys are going into debt for?
They really needed to let us know that. Like 10 minutes in, this plumbing service came in. This smells really bad. But we're making progress. I need to make it to Sunset on the Hill. 6:08 p.m. We're almost there. 6:24 p.m. We have like 9 people left. And there's a random guy doing push-ups behind me. We made it in, chat. Basically, we just wait for one of these to open up. Men are so greedy. They be taking their time. All right, this is our shower. All right, let's turn her on. Oh, it's cold.
I don't know why they're not outside.
Water is so cold, so refreshing.
Wear a bathing suit.
There's no room to get dressed in here. I'm done with the shower. I'd rate that like a 7 out of 10. It took actually an hour, but once I was in it, the water was really cold. But now I'm going back to my campgrounds for Sunset on the Hill.
It didn't occur to me that if you camp there, you have to spend legit the entire day when nothing really is happening there. You know, from like 7 a.m. to, I don't know, 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, there's not too much going on. Maybe some smaller people are performing there that you're not really interested in, but you're going to spend the entire day in your tent for hours. And then eventually you get to go to the concerts at night, because that's when it usually happens, that you want to attend. I don't know, guys. Let me know if it's worth it. And which side is the better deal here? I'm very curious. Have you ever attended Coachella? Which side do you think's better? Which side did you stay on? How much did you pay for this event? This is insane what people are willing to go into debt for. Truly blows my mind. But with that being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe. And if you haven't seen the previous Coachella episode, definitely make sure to check it out right after this.